family, they're all, can I say, twisted and get away with it? You see, this message, yeah, and I also want to put it up on social media. This message is to an uncle of mine who, when I was going through my divorce at the initial stages, said it was going to mess up my career. And I was at one point almost believing him. I cannot say my career was affected by my divorce in any way or form. It might have affected it in one way or the other, but it also, because I was also able to evolve my brand, I was able to move on to other things, to much bigger things. I'm looking today at the list. Ada, do you have, can you just type richest people on earth?
Okay.
Let's just look at the richest people on earth today. Number one is Bezos. Number two is Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Number three is Bernard Arnold.
Bernard Arnold.
Number four is Bill Gates. And number five is Mark Zuckerberg. Now, out of the top five richest people on earth, three are divorced. Then the top two are divorced. The two richest men on earth are divorced. So that year, the richest man in Nigeria, isn't he divorced too?
He is.
According to a report on Elon Musk, a little over a month after marriage counseling, Elon Musk served Wilson with divorce papers. The two are estranged now, but Wilson noted that she got along well with Tala Riley, the actress Musk was engaged to 6 weeks after divorce papers were delivered. So imagine what Elon Musk did 6 weeks after he served divorce. He don't engage again. If now for Nigeria you do that kind thing, let me give you the story of Taste Buds. Taste Buds filed for divorce in 2012. In 2021, 9 years after, the divorce was granted according to, what did they say, adultery. Person filed you divorce in 2012. And then, that means, and you see, until we sit up and start having these discussions, we're just going to look silly. Let me munch this and send it to you, Ada. 6 weeks. This is the richest man on earth. As of a few weeks ago, he has dropped to the second richest man on earth. I'm sending it to you by DM.
Oh, I can check.
6 weeks after he served divorce papers, moved on and was engaged. Baba don't get time to. You try this in Nigeria, you'll be labeled an adulterer. And I'm speaking from experience. Now we need to actually start having these conversations. Did you see it, Ada? Check your, not your WhatsApp, your Instagram. Now,
Yeah.
we don't need to even talk about Jeff Bezos' divorce. Jeff Bezos' divorce was on every newspaper when it happened. Now, when Jeff Bezos got divorced, yeah, do you realize that he went on to become the richest man on earth after he was divorced? Let me tell you what sweeted me. There's no word like that, but I'm using it because I'm in Nigeria. What Toto read me in Jeff Bezos divided his money with his wife or his ex-wife. The ex-wife has remarried now. When did they start this their divorce? The ex-wife don't remarry. Oh. I stand to be corrected, but from what I read now, he still, after sharing his wealth with his wife, he still went on to become the richest man on earth, and he's still currently the richest man on earth in the whole world. The top 2 richest people on earth are divorced. Now, the youngest ever to ever become a billionaire, Bill Gates. I follow Melinda Gates. I like her. I like Bill. I like the two of them together. I was heartbroken. Let me not lie. I don't really know Jeff Bezos and his wife. They're not like Melinda and Bill. When you see Bill, you've seen Melinda. Everything is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It choke my air. It restrict my airflow. It choke. You understand what I'm talking about? Now, why are we in the mindset place where a man or a woman has to stay in a dead, fungating, necrotized marriage because your society will listen, whether you like it or not, your society has failed. Your value system has crashed. Look around you. Listen, Nigeria is a conglomerate of its value systems, of its belief systems, of its cultural practices and ideologies. We have failed. Countries that have less traditions are doing better. That's where you are running to. Many of you are applying for visas for the smallest unimaginable country, simply because your system has failed. Somebody is saying, so because Jeff Bezos divorced, so therefore we should all divorce. If the man is bad, divorce. If they are cheating on you and giving you STI, divorce. Yes?
Okay, Daddy, please, we'll come back to this. We have bills to pay. When we return, we'll talk about
Please, let's come back quickly because I'm in the mood today to be dangerous. Somebody just spoiled this whole thing. That come back. Come back. Somebody just said even Bernard Arnold is remarried. So out of the top 5 richest people on earth, the first 4 are divorcees. Someone says, all I'm saying is my own opinion. Oh, one day you will thank me for my opinion. Somebody just send me, even Bernard Arnold, number 3. He got divorced in 1990, still became the richest man on earth, though. Because he overtook base at the point and then still went back. He's top 5 now. 4 out of the top 5. We have to start rethinking. Listen, yeah. There's something I'm going to tell you. Yeah. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Bad marriage is deadly. Someone says, so he'll soon be a rich man. I pray, I pray. But one thing I know is I'm a happy man. You can't buy happiness. You can't buy. I don't know if I'm going to be rich. I hope I'm going to be rich, even if I'm going to be just a fraction of what these people are worth. One thing I know is I'm happy. I'm content. Somebody corrected me when I said 3. Ada, someone corrected me when I said 3 of the top 5 richest people on earth are divorced.
How many are there now?
4. Even Arnold got divorced in 1990 and still went on to make top 5 in the world. I'm sending it to you now.
Let me check that out.
I'm munching so you don't have to do too much work. So the would fail. Elon Musk that left divorce papers after going through marriage counseling. Oh, Baba just woke up one day and said, what's all this? Divorce papers. 6 weeks later, I was engaged. I've sent it to you. Have you? 20%. Abi? Yeah, it's 20%. 1 out of 5 is 20%. Abi, 25%. No, 20%. Ada. So only 20% of the top 5 is married. 80% of the top 5 is divorced. Now let's take a look at Nigeria. Our 2 richest men, Aliko and Uncle Mike, both divorced. Unless I'm wrong. Nigeria, one is the richest in the whole of Africa, divorced. What am I trying to say? Ada, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Is the year. Somebody said, are you happy to have been divorced, or are you trying to recruit more divorce? I am the happiest. My biggest achievement in my life is my divorce first. That I was able to disconnect myself from toxicity. Am I happy? I guarantee you that by the time I'm done today, make that move out of violence, make that move out of emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse. And one of the things they tell you is, oh, your career will suffer, blah, 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 blah. You want to take calls?
No, not that. It's 12 o'clock, and I don't see the possibility of, talking much about this topic. Maybe we'll do that.
I don't want to do it again tomorrow. I'm up for it tonight. Just take 2 calls. Just 2 calls and let's move. And 2 calls, quick calls, and we move.
I'm giving you just 2 minutes.
Yes, 1 minute. Let them come and defend it.
Yes, hello, good morning. Moses, welcome.
Someone said, what
Sorry
caused
about
your
that.
breakup? According to court papers, domestic violence.
One thing I want to say is that the most richest man,
Not on my part.
the divorce. First, how does it help anybody's life? The divorce, because people divorce does not make anything right. Yes, there is a ground for
Say they
divorce.
hear say they hear mentality.
What that says that right, that people should be divorcing just because why? I don't know. Because I don't like to say something to somebody.
Okay, Moses.
Why would you say why would you encourage bad thing in the first place? Yes, it happens.
Did he say divorce is a bad thing?
All right, Moses, you had.
Ada, did Moses say divorce is a bad thing?
I didn't quite get that. I was trying to fix
Don't
it.
worry, his wife will divorce him. Then he will know how he feels. No. Let's all be silly. How can you say divorce is a bad thing?
No, we're not praying for that. Hello. Good
Who is
morning.
not praying for what? I'm praying for it for him.
Yeah, you have 50 minutes.
Someone that will not marry. I say, I'm praying for it for him. We cuckoo bless. God, we cuckoo bless you, oh.
Okay, dear. Just a minute. Thank you so much. Okay, Daddy, please. Passing words.
Parting words, if you are in a bad place, get out. Your life might depend on it. So listen, some people are going through depression right now because of that. Did we not discuss that? Oh, I don't think, Ada, did we discuss it on this show? The woman that went to do 14 days of fasting.
And I no,
We did not discuss it on this show. Oh, we should discuss. I discussed it online. We should discuss it on Live and Dangerous. You guys join us tomorrow, Wednesday. I think we'll discuss it. Usually, I'm not in the mood to discuss all these heavy topics during the week. We just take light topics, but I think we should discuss it. Woman went to pray. Is that not the height of depression? You went to fast for 14 days straight without food and water and now died on top of bad marriage that you could have walked out like Jeff Bezos did. You could have walked out like Bill Gates and Melinda did. You could have walked out like Bernard Arnold did. In fact, you could have walked out like Elon Musk and engaged somebody else 6 weeks later. But no, you will not hear word. You will die inside bad marriage.
All right, Daddy, please. I think we should continue with this tomorrow.
I think we should.
Okay. So it's time for us to go, and I'll say I'll never support anyone to endure any relationship or marriage. Like, it should be enjoyed. Please, if you're there and you're not happy, you are not okay, you are suffering, instead of dying in there, please leave.
Ada has sense. She's telling people sense.
It's more precious than that title. I am somebody's wife, or address me as Mrs., or address me as Mr. I am responsible, I am married. Please, leave that place before there are delays to your name. That's all I have to say. Okay, Daddy Chris, thank you so much, and have an amazing night, guys.
And you too, darling. Look forward to being with you tomorrow again, and we're going to go in harder, and we're going to continue exposing the lies, the falsehood, and all generally all the BS in in the world. If you're in a bad place, I'll advise you leave for your mental health. I'm not saying break up your marriage. Even before you leave, work on your marriage. But let me tell you, where they are beating you, there's nothing to work on. Where they are giving you STI, there's nothing to work on. Ain't nothing to work on. What you're working on is how you're. Do you know how many women get herpes, get cervical cancer because of their men and HPV? Do you know? Is that what you want to do with the rest of your life so you can have a home? Is your home better than Jeff Bezos' home? No, 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 no. I want to ask you. I want to ask
Yeah,
Nigerians that will be there forming muscle.
6 minutes gone past 12, and we're actually going for maintenance. Yeah. Are you there?
I'm there. Oh, take care. Oh, love you. Bye.
Bye bye, Daddy. Take care. Good night.
Somebody is saying, why don't you encourage to choose the right spouse instead of encouraging divorce? You see, choosing the right spouse and divorce are two different conversations that should not be had at the same time. It is unfair to be discussing choosing the right spouse when you're already in a bad marriage. The people listening to me now, many of them are in bad places. We will talk about choosing the right spouse later, but let me tell you something. How easy is it to choose your heart that God put inside your chest to be pumping blood around your body? You know the day to fail you, let alone another person. How do you know a good husband? I was with one of my aunties the other day. She was talking about another one of my cousins who refused to go to church. This guy is not a good person, he's not going to church, blah, 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 blah. Now I started to name people for her church where they do evil things, where all of us know. I said, those ones, they know they go to church. All those people, there was one guy who married a woman with a 4-year-old. And after a while, na church guy, better church person, if you see him like this, na church they carry for head, started doing something to the child. So this mindset of getting the right, how do you get the right person? When Jeff Bezos was married, you think he married the wrong person? What's Bezos' wife's name? What she did in his life, what Melinda did in Bill Gates' life. It just reached a point, they just realized that, look, we can't go on anymore. We have issues. They probably tried to fix it, but it just didn't work. Maybe she wanted more time, he wanted more career, or whatever it is their issues were. Someone is saying, the same person is saying, some people are currently about getting married, but your advice can stop them from making mistakes. Let me tell you something. You can marry the worst person in the world, and the two of you will gel, and the two of you will make it work. And you can marry a very good person from a very good home, and it will not work. I was still having this conversation with someone, and I was asking, the person is going through a bitter divorce, and I was asking the person, could you not read between the lines when you were getting married? And everybody there was like, if you had met this guy, he was humble, he was clean, he was neat, he was gentle, he had a good job, blah, 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 blah. So how do you tell? Let me tell you something, yeah? When I give you the ideology that you can walk out of a bad place, you know what it does for your psyche? You are not going to get married to just anybody because you don't want to walk out of a bad marriage. So you want to make sure it's fixed. And the person that you're with, you tell them from the beginning that, look, any small thing you do, quick them like this, I don't leave you and I don't go. Some people will stay in the marriage because of children. Let me tell you, even that I don't advise. They say person where they back, no fit back person. If you are in an airplane, have you ever been in an airplane before? When they're reading all those there, they say before you fit your nose mask on a child, fit your own first. Fit your own first. And this is Nigeria. You know the worst thing is, some people stay abroad, they will stay in the marriage and have an open marriage. Me and you are married, meaning me and you will go to the children's school together as a couple. Me and you will take the children out on dates, but we are seeing other people in the marriage. The marriage is open. We are not seeing each other. We are not sleeping together, but we are in the same house because of the children. You try in Nigeria, It makes no sense for me to be in a bad place and then me and my wife, because we have to be a title. Are the children stupid? Let me tell you what I'm going to advise people. If you really care about your children, divorce with love. As you are going your separate ways, understand and respect each other. Respect the fact that the person you are getting divorced from is still a father to your child. Somebody say God no support divorce, so that's the biggest lie from the pit of hell. Open Matthew chapter 19 verse 9. Some of us get Bible inside our head. We don't need to. Open Matthew chapter 19 verse 9. Let me teach you Bible small today. I don't come out for radio. I fit talk Bible. Matthew 19:9. Here's Christ himself talking. Christ is the voice of God, the word of God. John chapter 1. In the beginning was the word. And the word dwelt among us. This is the word of God telling you. He said, and I tell you this, whoever divorces his wife and marries someone else commits adultery unless the wife has been unfaithful. He only commits adultery if the wife he only commits adultery unless the wife has been unfaithful. If the wife has been unfaithful, he can remarry. And this was the new. Who said God does not support divorce? Let me read the original law for you in the book of Moses, the Pentateuch. Hold on, my Bible is loading. I will teach you people this thing today. Go with me to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 1. Deuteronomy 24 and verse 1. Deuteronomy is the original law. This is what obtained until Christ came. Suppose a man marries a woman, but she does not please him. Having discovered something wrong with her, he writes a document of divorce, hands it over to her, and sends her away from his house. When she leaves his house, she is free to marry another man. Oh, did you guys miss it? Hello? Knock, knock. The original law says if a man finds something wrong with her, what could he find wrong with her? Maybe he doesn't like her hairstyle anymore. It was that easy to get a divorce according to the law of tithing, the law of first fruits. Oh, you guys are holding on to Deuteronomy chapter 14 that speaks about tithe, but you don't want to hold on to divorce. Who tell you say God no support divorce? God no like him, no me say no support him. No be God give Moses this law. Now your papa give Moses this law. And they ask you, this law where I read to you, Deuteronomy chapter 24, who give Moses? Oh, Oni of Ife. Make una they think. And you see, what used to happen then was women were not getting divorced properly. They were being cheated. And Christ has always been an activist and an advocate. He stood up for the women. Someone said both of my parents were married and miserable until he left Nigeria and left my mother. And mind you, they are still married. God does not like it, does not mean he does not support it. There are two different things. This is clear evidence that he supported it. A clear law. So what made Christ talk about divorce in Matthew chapter 19? If we read the original question the Pharisees asked, because they were trying to tempt him. So let's also understand that. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 19. I'm reading from verse 3. Some Pharisees came and tried to trap him with this question: should a man be allowed to divorce his wife for just any reason? Should a man divorce his wife, not divorce his wife, for just any reason? Because according to Deuteronomy chapter 24, you could literally divorce your wife because you didn't like her hairdo, or because she lost some weight or added some weight, or because she went darker or got some stretch marks after her last child. You could literally divorce her for that. The scriptures are very clear. They said you cellulite is not pleasing. Maybe it's one of those things. Or maybe some things that were perky before all of a sudden became saggy. And you don't like saggy, so you divorce. You don't like folds, so you divorce. She's no longer able to flip from the dog to something else. She gets tired too quickly. You divorce. The scriptures are clear. If she doesn't please you anymore, you send her away. Write her a bill of divorcement. And she can even remarry. Read, read, read. Let them stop using your empty head. Let them stop duping you with religious buffoonery. Asked was, is it still okay? Can we still just see that our wife don't add weight, don't just be like Amoeba now, we'll just fire and divorce, go look for young Unilag babe? So he now responded. He said, God made them male and female. And he said, this explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two one, since they are no longer two but one. Let no one split apart what God has joined together. This is very deep. Let no one split apart what God. The two of you are one, but your wife get boyfriend inside marriage. Who is splitting you people apart? It's still you. Or better still, you were never one in the first place. A man leaves his wife, his parents, and cleaves to his mother, to his wife. How are you cleaving to your wife when only you get 5 side chick? You can't say, what God has joined together. God did not join your poor wife with foolishness. Let her leave before you give her HIV. This thing is for faithful men and women who are working tirelessly to make their union work. It's not for you that you have 5 side chick. It's not for you that your boyfriend is the one that bought you your car that you are saying. Make una dey hear word. Una like to read Bible and interpret it in the context of your lack of understanding. I'll take this a little further. Then verse 7, they now corrected Christ. They said, then why did Moses say in the law that a man could give his wife a written divorce notice and send her away, they asked. You see, you've got to understand that the Pharisees, they understood the scriptures. Christ, he understood the scriptures. This was a scriptural battle. They quoted Deuteronomy chapter 24 for Christ. Say, come. Hey, Mr. Jesus, what did they say they call your name? Come and read this book here. Why did Moses say in the law? We follow the law of Moses. Let me tell you. 3 religions were built out of the law of Moses. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They all came out of the Pentateuch, or the first 5 books of Moses. Then Christ replied in verse 8 to them, quoting Deuteronomy chapter 24. He said, Moses permitted divorce only as a concession to your hard hearts. It was not what God had originally intended. Moses permitted it as a concession from who? From God to you. Why? Because your hearts were hardened. And I tell you this, whosoever divorces his wife and marries someone else commits adultery unless the wife has been unfaithful. If you read this in the original Greek version, it uses the word porneia. Porneia doesn't mean unfaithful, it means immorality. It actually came from the word prostitution. Porneia meant prostitution, but under porneia were so many sexual sins, if you call them that, or sexual immoralities labeled under porneia. It was the word that King James translated as fornication. Now, fornication came from the Latin word fornix, which meant the arks under which women who used to sell their bodies would stay to advertise for men. So even fornication actually meant prostitution. It is your pastors and their olodoism that translated it to an unmarried person and an unmarried person being together. That's not what fornication means. Fornication literally means prostitution. So Christ said, whoever divorces his wife and marries someone else, unless there's been not adultery, there's been immorality. So how do we get ourselves out of the box where we're in into the box where we should be? There are many people who are afraid to get a divorce. I tell you today, the two richest men in Nigeria are divorced. The first four richest men in the world are divorced. They did not die. Their businesses did not crumble. The enemy did not kill them. God does not hate them. God hates divorce. According to Malachi chapter 2, God hates divorce. But let me tell you what also God hates. He hates immorality. Now, aside this, the apostle Saul also gave a concession for divorce. Go with me again to the Bible. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I'm reading from verse 15. But if the husband or wife who isn't a believer insists on leaving, let them go. In such cases, the believing husband or wife is no longer bound to the other, for God has called you to live in peace. So here is Paul also telling you that not only can you divorce, you can also divorce and remarry if you're with someone who's an unbeliever and the person decides to go. As far as I'm concerned, my ex was an unbeliever. She had a picture of Jesus in the house. Yeah, well, I used to pray to the picture of Jesus too. So we were both unbelievers until I found the light. Until Lucifer gave me the light. And who's Lucifer? Christ, Yahushua, the Son of God. Until I found the light, I was an unbeliever. And she left. So let's read this in the original Greek Bible. It says, Toitus and the erin keken himasho theos. In such cases, however, peace has called you to God. He now says, tie. Let him separate himself, not is under bondage. Meaning, as the unbeliever leaves, you are no longer under bondage. Someone says, who did you say the Son of God is? Lucifer. Who did you think he was? Go and watch my teaching, Street Credibility. I broke it down steadily. Go and read 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. Go and read it in the original Latin Bible. You will see Peter calling Christ Lucifer. Is there in the original language that existed 1,400 years before the first English translation that mungled and mangled everything up. Don't be afraid. Go and read it. We've taught you all these things. Now you know one learn. Is Trump himself not divorced? How many times has Trump divorced and remarried? Let me even Google it. Trump when I want die put. Trump was divorced himself now. From Ivana Trump. Even Buhari is he not divorced? Be there. When you people selves. Because your pastors, some of them are struggling inside bad marriage. Struggling just so that tithe will not be less. Why do you think I cut cap for Yakilome, Okotie, we get mine. Say, okay, you know what? I ain't doing this no more. It's not working. Why kill ourselves? Somebody said the Lucifer matter don't cause wahala. I follow that teaching, and up till now we still dey settle the matter. You go settle am tire. Just follow all the references I gave you, original scriptural references, date it. I've said any pastor that is willing to debate me on that shall come. When Christ himself declared himself Lucifer in Revelation chapter 22, verse 16, he said, I am the bright morning star. What was Lucifer? The planet Venus in its morning appearance, and Christ said he's the one. Emashio, don't miss it too. Don't let these load of people carry you because they want to collect 10% of your money. Don't let them lead you inside hellfire. Somebody's correcting me. Donald Trump got divorced twice. Someone said, why do you seem so excited about the topic? Because finally people's eyes are going to be opened. Let me tell you, 80 to 90% of our parents' marriages, our parents did not deserve it for themselves. They suffered in it in silence just because they wanted to conform to society's ideology. And I don't subscribe to conformism simply because you want to look good in a society. You say in Europe, people divorce and remarry again many times. Now, here's the thing, yeah. I pray that if you're in a bad marriage, we're going to pray together. I pray that if you're in a bad marriage, you're going to have the strength to leave. And you're going to have the strength to pick up the pieces of your life. It's a prayer. And I believe that we should be able to have this conversation. And I also pray for you to remarry. Stop that nonsense. If you divorce, you can't remarry. Somebody said, if you remarry, you'll be committing adultery. I said the adultery you were committing inside the marriage. What's that one? So you see, God hates divorce. Divorce na feather compared to hypocrisy, will be rock. God hates adultery, yes. He hates hypocrisy more because the hypocrite is committing adultery. Someone said Lucifer is not Jesus Christ, please. Who's talking about Jesus Christ? That European demon that they concocted for you people to worship? Who's Jesus? You are talking about, of course, Lucifer is not Jesus. Lucifer is Yahushua, who is the real Christ. G waiting. Please don't mention that name here. Because some people that know are afraid to tell you this because they cannot tell you that they've been lying to you for 10 years. Someone said, what's the definition of a bad marriage? Anywhere where you're emotionally, psychologically, physically in a place of torment. Anything that puts you in a place of depression. Anything that reduces your self-worth. That is a bad marriage. Somebody here, Super Stella, said Lucifer is the devil. Don't go and say what will lead you into hell. Don't go and blaspheme. Oh. Lucifer is not the devil, it's the devil to stupid people. Oh, don't be among them that have no sense. Yvonne is calling me a false prophet. Do you know I love bringing up this Lucifer topic? You see how unlettered people that call themselves Christians are. Someone said discernment is a blessing, and you have discernment. Have you asked how the word Lucifer came into being? Because King James gathered a bunch of idiots to translate his Bible, and they changed the word Hallel to Lucifer from the Vulgate, the Biblia Sacra Vulgata that Jerome translated, where Jerome used the word Lucifer 4 times. King James only inherited 1. Isaiah chapter 14 verse 12. And it was not talking about the devil. Clearly, if you read Isaiah chapter 14 from verse 1, you know it was talking about the king of Babylon. And let me even read Isaiah chapter 13 so you'd understand who King Isaiah was talking about. Let's read, Yvonne. Don't be unintelligent. God, you see, if you read Matthew chapter 13 verse 12, the scriptures are very clear. It says, the more you listen to my teachings, the more you have understanding until you have an abundance of knowledge. What you just said just shows you lack knowledge. You can't be a follower of Christ. You can see through me. I feel so, normally I block people like you, but I want you to enjoy this torment and God will still reveal himself to you. Be there fooling yourself because one pastor has been lying to you and collecting 10% of your money. Go and read Isaiah chapter 14, Isaiah chapter 13. From verse 1. Isaiah, son of Amos, received this message concerning the destruction of Babylon. Raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop. Call up an army against Babylon. Wave your hand to encourage them as they march into the palaces of the high and mighty. I, the Lord, have dedicated these soldiers for this task. Yes, I've called mighty warriors to express my anger. Hear the voice on the mountains. Listen as the vast armies march. It is the noise and shouting of many nations. The Lord of heaven's armies has called this army together. They came from distant countries, from beyond the farthest horizons. They are the Lord's weapons to carry out his anger. With them he'll destroy the whole land. Scream in terror, for the day of the Lord has arrived, the time for the Almighty to destroy. Continue reading what he has said all the way to the end. Verse 14 says, everyone in Babylon will run about like hunted gazelle, like sheep without a shepherd. They'll try to find their own people and flee to their own land. Anyone who's captured will be cut down. Verse 17, look, I will stir up Medes against Babylon. They cannot be tempted by silver or bribed with gold. Verse 19, Babylon, the most glorious of kingdoms, the flower of the Chaldean pride, will be devastated like Sodom and Gomorrah. When God destroys them, Babylon will never be inhabited again. And if you now read chapter 14, we're still in continuation of chapter 13. It says, but the Lord will have mercy on the descendants of Jacob. He will choose Israel as a special people once again. He'll bring them back to settle to their own land, and the people from different nations will come and join them. The nations of the world will help the people of Israel to return. Those who live in the Lord's land will serve them, and those who captured Israel will themselves be captured, and Israel will rule over its enemies. In that wonderful day, the Lord gives his people rest from sorrow and fear, from slavery and chains. You will taunt the king of Babylon, saying, the mighty man has been destroyed. Yes, your insolence is ended, for the Lord has crushed your wicked power. And that's what reads into verse 12 that now says, how you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. You've been thrown down to the earth, you who destroy the nations of the world. It had nothing to do with Satan, had everything to do with an earthly king. Read from verse 13, from chapter 13. Stop being a sheep. Sheep is good. Christ is looking for sheep. Stop being a sheeple. Read it. This has nothing to do with the devil. Do you know how many times Lucifer was mentioned in the Latin Bible? The Latin Vulgate is available online. Download it. Did they do this to you people? Did somebody put straw in your ear and drink your brain? Yvonne, ẹ ṣe àpọnú báyìí. Four times mentioned in the Bible, in the original Latin Bible. Twice in the book of Job, once in the book of 2 Peter, and once in Isaiah chapter 14. Mumu King James and his idiots that were translating Bible took only Isaiah chapter 14:12. Go and open any other Bible translation and see you see the word Lucifer in Isaiah 14:12. It does not exist. Why? Because other Bibles realized that it was nonsense that brother went to translate. I've said, Yvonne, don't worry, bring your geo. I don't tell you, this Lucifer matter. Me and your geo are already dragged. There are very few things I go into debate for. One is tithing. Second is Lucifer. Bring your geo. That your highest pastor in your church. Tell him that there's one wicked guy on the internet called Daddy Freeze. Say talk, say Christ and Lucifer. Say he already debate your geo. Say make your geo come. Forget all these small up and coming people that are looking for debate up and down so they can blow. And I don't send those ones. Now that your geo will tell you that thing where you won't ready face me. I say make you go bring them. Read. Christ said, if you listen to his teachings, you would have an abundance of knowledge. Where's the knowledge? All I see around is abundance of ignorance. Anyway, guys, it was lovely hanging out with you. I really enjoyed this beautiful session. I've got to go sit with Taste Buds. She has some grilled chicken for me. I'm going to chill. I'm going to be blessed. And so are you. I did say we were going to pray. Someone said, Daddy Freeze, thou troubler of Nigeria, we love you. Someone said, MBA is killing Nigerians. Come, I'm not a fan of Oyakilome or Christ Embassy. But people should leave Christ Embassy alone. Don't you people realize that it is silly of you to invest your money inside Forex and carry your important money there? Now, money where you don't get anything for, now they put use do Forex. So you never know. Don't set yourself. I don't know how to cry for people because from the beginning there are people I warned about that MBA. I said be careful with this thing. And as it don't hook now, all of them don't begin vex. So please, guys, I'm so sorry for those of you who lost money. My apologies. I love you guys. Forex is an amazing business. Investing in Forex too can be amazing. However, please be very careful so that you will not start with stories that touch. So, thank you so much. Who is Pastor Hope Essie? All these unknown pastors that you want to bring for debate. Can you bring somebody I know? Not somebody I will blow. And that's a rhyme right there. Bring somebody I know, not somebody I will blow. Diaspora Nigerians all the way from Washington, D.C. Love you too. A lot of people are asking me about the Baba Ijesha situation. And someone said Lucifer then is not light but son of light. Have you bothered to read 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19, Ivy? Read it. Read it in Greek, read it in Latin, you'll get perspective. Someone said, yes, we're going to pray. Watch Taste Buds, youtube.com/TasteBudsNG. She dealt with the Baba Ijesha issue. She dealt with it very well. Please do watch it. You don't need to blow him. He's worldwide. I don't know him. And I know a lot of pastors. What does he want to discuss? Lucifer. Tell him I love him, that he should come. Maybe make I even use him, catch small cruise. All right. Let's move to our prayer for anyone who is going through a bad marriage right now. You see, let me tell you, you can come online and come and type nonsense. Eh? Now you know your bank account. I don't know him. None of us here know him. You can come online and chat all you want. Now you know where the shoe they pinch you. I want us to pray today. Heavenly Father, your children come before you today to thank you for another opportunity to speak your word. Almighty King, I ask for mercy. I ask for forgiveness. I ask for direction for your children. I ask for peace. I ask for love. Father, there are people going through a lot in their marriages right now. I know you hate divorce, but Father, you also hate seeing your children, the ones for whom you sacrificed your only son. I know you hate seeing them in pain and agony. Father, there are some marriages that can be healed. Heal them, O Lord. Those that cannot be healed, give your children the knowledge to understand this and give them the grace to move out and move on into a place where you will destine for them, into a place of peace, a place of hope, a place of love, a place of repair. Father, you know what your children want even before they ask. Father, grant it to their hearts. Grant them that peace. Remove them from trouble and tribulation, from emotional and physical and psychological assault, and give them peace and sleep in your grace. In Yahushua's name, I pray. If you're going through a bad marriage right now, and if your marriage can be saved, I pray that it is saved. And I pray that if it is not able to be saved, you know your marriage can be saved. You know it when you're in such a bad place. I pray that God gives you strength. I pray that God gives you grace. And I pray that God gives you the wherewithal needed to move on. Some of you don't have money. May the Lord provide the finances needed to get the lawyers you need for your divorce. I say with my full chest, many of you are in bad places. God didn't create you to suffer like that. Christ has died so that you can be free. God bless you. And for those of you getting into marriages, we're going to have a marriage prayer session. I'm going to actually sit down because I don't like the divorces, to be honest. I would rather you got into a good marriage from the get-go. But if you're in a bad marriage, you need to get out. And the Lord is speaking to somebody right now. You need to get out. You know it is you. You need to leave. Leave. You either leave through a divorce. Many people leave in body bags. Some is not even physical. It's depression. Look at the woman fasted for 14 days and died. She left that bad marriage in a body bag. You don't want to leave in a body bag. You want to leave with your mind strong. Oh, a divorce is going to break you. It's going to wound you financially, emotionally, psychologically too. But there's hope at the end of the day. And I am one of the beneficiaries of a divorce. Forget what the newspapers are saying, forget what everybody else is saying. Now, me, the inside, I tell you, where I am now, I am 1,000,000 times better than where I was 10 years ago. You that are single, may God help you make the right choice. Right now, your partner is being prepared for you. May you locate that partner. May God give you the grace to be of understanding. May God give you the grace so you can carry his light and meet someone who's carrying his light. God bless you, Bintagama. And God bless you all. All the ones who came to show love, all the ones who came to hate me, may God bless you all still. It is indeed a beautiful day. And I love you all. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to join me at 2:30 p.m. Forex with Daddy Freeze and Bookie. We're talking about how to do Forex and how to do it right so you don't go and start crying in front of church so that they can refund your money. We'll talk all about this here. For those of you who are interested in getting Bookie's number, I get so many people sending me messages. Here is Bookie's number. Just send a text message, Daddy Freeze, along with your name to +234 705 861 4805. Thank you so much, Binta. Thank you so much to your mom. And Tazebud says thank you too. +234 705 861 4805. Bless you all. Bless you all. That's Bookie's number. Just send Daddy Freeze along with your name as a WhatsApp message only. If you really want to know about Forex and you really want to go through a proper Forex course so you can trade, +234 705 861 4805. Take care. Torpizzle, I see you. Bless you all. Afibasi, to amen, amen, amen. Bless you all. We're going to move the church to the permanent site, and the permanent site is in your heart. Take care. God bless.